The Bible tells the story of God's mighty historical deeds to restore the world to what He always wanted it to be. The backdrop of God's work of restoration is the creation of a very good world and humanity's rebellion and the curse that falls on the world. The narrative of restoration runs through the history of Israel, reaching its climax in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, and continues on through the church's mission until the consummation of all things at the end of history. It claims to be nothing less than the true story of the whole world, the story of God. I will tell this story in 6 acts. I begin with creation. In the opening act of the drama, we are introduced to God Himself, who's not merely its primary actor, but also its author, and indeed the creator of all the other actors in it, and even the cosmic stage upon which this drama will be performed. God is introduced with 2 names. The first is Elohim, translated God. It is the generic name for God. The second, Yahweh, translated Lord, is the personal name of God revealed to Moses as the name by which he is to be known to Israel. Yahweh is the Lord God who redeemed Israel from Egypt and established His covenant with them. Moses, writing to the Jewish people many years after these events, says, as it were, in these opening chapters of the world's history, the same God who liberated you from Egypt is Yahweh, the one who created the whole world. Moses writes to a people who have just been freed from Egyptian oppression and bound in covenant to Yahweh at Sinai. As Moses writes, these mighty deeds in their recent history are given their proper historical context, stretching back to the promise of God made to their forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But Moses takes it a step back further to show how these early promises to the patriarchs stand in an even bigger context of universal history. The story of Israel begins and ends with its divine author, God Himself, Elohim Yahweh, creator of heaven and earth. The Lord who freed Israel from Egypt is not a mere tribal deity like the gods of the other nations, but the maker of all things. Moses writes to a people whose views of the gods and humanity and their world have for 400 years been shaped by the pagan myths of Egypt. As he narrates the account of creation, he takes deliberate aim at these myths, seeking to reshape Israel's views of God, of humankind, and of the world in order to equip them for their vocation. The false stories that they have lived with for so many years need to be displaced by the truth. And so Moses begins with Yahweh, who is eternal. In the beginning, God. As the description of Yahweh's creating work unfolds, it becomes clear that He is utterly unlike the idol gods of Egypt. He is the one and only God. Everything else that exists has been created by Him. His power and wisdom are revealed in the way He forms the creation by His word. His goodness and kindness shine out as He prepares a wonderful home for humanity. Yahweh stands apart from everything else in existence as the great and incomparable Creator. Yahweh effortlessly speaks the world into existence. The world He makes is a symphony made up of an almost infinite variety of creaturely sounds, but exhibiting a marvelous and harmonious coherence. Each creature He makes is good in its rightful place, and so is the harmony of the whole. The entire cosmos echoes and re-echoes the glory of God, and evil has no place in it. The creation is also conditioned by time, made to develop and change and to move forward toward a goal of God's own purpose. The rhythmic literary pattern by which God speaks the various elements of creation into existence and then pronouncing them good is reinforced by the repetition of the formula, and there was evening and there was morning the first, second, third day. And on the sixth day, the pattern is disrupted as the divine king on his throne makes a momentous announcement. He is about to form a creature that will be uniquely an image of himself, one who will be given the task of continuing God's own work, forming and filling his kingdom to reflect his glory. In Egypt, Pharaoh alone was considered to be the image of God, the one with a relationship with the gods and tasked to rule on their behalf. Here, Moses makes the astonishing statement that all people are created in God's image, that every person can know and partner with God, and that all share in the task of ruling the creation, cultivating its brimming powers and potentials to mirror the glory of its Creator and to bless humanity and all creatures. As God completes his work of creation, he pronounces it very good. The world and humanity are blessed by him. Their lives are woven together in a way that all may flourish and thrive. Humans delight in their task to discover and to enjoy, to cultivate and to care for the creation to meet each other's needs. Blessing, shalom, life, prosperity. All these words describe the newly created world as it comes from God's hand. This is the way the world was meant to be.